What is going on, Ape Nation? So this is video 3 of a 3-part series. I'm going to make this extremely short and sweet because we have no time to waste. We've got to expose this corruption. So we're going to get right into the video, but before we do, please make sure you smash that like button so that the YouTube algorithm shares this video with as many apes as possible. And number 2, if you have not subscribed yet, if you're new to this channel, make sure that you subscribe because I drop content just like this every single day and you're not going to want to miss it.
It was a $100 million product in less than 18 months. The problem is that clients couldn't just trade with RBC. One of my closest clients put it to me brilliantly. He said, Brad, you've solved 2% of my trading problem. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, 2% is the amount of trades that I can actually send to RBC. He's like, what about the other 98% of my trading issues? So this actually got us thinking quite a bit. We wanted to understand, a lot of people villainize high frequency trading. And I think, again, not every person that uses a computer to trade is harming the market. If you're arbitraging an ETF against the 30 underlying stocks, a computer does that. There's nothing wrong with that. If there's an ADR that's listed in London and trades in New York, there's nothing wrong with arbitraging correlated products. But there are some high frequency traders that are actually picking up signals and racing. We call this latency arbitrage. But high frequency traders have no customers. They're capitalists in many ways, and again, some slant on capitalism, but they're looking at an inefficient system, and they're saying, how can I capitalize on that? On the other hand, how can someone pick up a signal at bats and race me to another exchange and get there in 476 microseconds? And the answer to that is because stock exchanges themselves aren't exactly what you think stock exchanges are anymore. A lot of people think about New York Stock Exchange and think about Wall Street and the big bell ringing on CNBC. They think about NASDAQ and Times Square, but in reality, no trading happens in these buildings. The irony of it is that the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, the people on the floor have never been farther away from the actual point of sale because all of those orders are beamed out to data warehouses in Mahwah, New Jersey and Carteret, New Jersey. That's where all the trading happens. So this idea about proximity on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange on CNBC, it's not relevant because all the trading happens in these data warehouses. We started to ask ourselves questions, back to Martin's introduction, why does a stock exchange exist? If you sit back and you ask yourself, why is the greatest question in the world? I started IEX because I would just incessantly ask these questions to myself. A stock exchange exists to help companies raise capital, to ensure that those companies meet certain standards, and to help that capital and that equity change hands between investors in a just and equitable way. That's why a stock exchange exists. Except you start to read articles to say, well, hold on a second, why are exchanges creating complex order types? 2009, the way I learned about high frequency trading is a stock exchange called Direct Edge built something called a flash order, which would give people a preview of an order before sending it on to another stock exchange, essentially a free look. Exchanges collectively in the United States pay $3 billion plus in what are called rebates. This is like figuring out that the electricity company pays you to turn your lights on. It was something that just completely baffled me when I learned it, but they're paying people billions of dollars to trade, which means they don't actually make money from trading anymore, which is why they open data centers, to sell people access, to sell people technology, to sell people cabling. They've even gone as far to put microwave towers on the roof of the exchanges to beam orders back and forth faster. Because all of this really adds up to the 476 microseconds that Ronan needed to beat me. It's being sold to him and his clients by the stock exchanges. The stock exchanges were enabling the issue that I just explained to you, among many other issues. We only have a few minutes here, so I can't get too deep into them. A stock exchange exists to help companies raise capital, to help investors allocate that capital. They do not exist to sell this stuff. But why do they do it? So first of all, they sell fast data, right? If you want to learn about the changing of a price faster than someone else, you have to pay for it. If you think about it theoretically, though, there isn't anything technically wrong with someone getting data before someone else, because there's no way to ensure that everyone gets it at the same time. If I broadcast a signal from this stage, everyone in this room will get it first. Maybe someone in the front row will actually get it technically before someone in the back. definitely before someone in New York will get it or someone in San Francisco will get it. There's no way to ensure everyone gets data at exactly the same time. The problem is, the person with advanced information, how do they monetize the information? They monetize it by trading against someone who doesn't yet have it. That's why, insider trading. I'm a lawyer, I work on a deal, I find out that company XYZ is gonna get bought out. There's nothing illegal about me possessing that information. There is something wrong with me running out into the market before it's announced and buying up stock of XYZ, that's a problem. And here what you have is you have people, because you can't ensure everyone gets information at the same time, some people know something before someone else. Why do people pay hundreds of millions of dollars for the technology to be right next to stock exchanges? Because it gives them the ability to trade hundreds of times, thousands of times, before that same piece of information makes it to the last person. Let alone the fact that you're processing that many times with your eye and you're thinking about it. I mean, we're talking about microseconds here, right? So they sell technology to allow people to capitalize on the advanced information that they're selling them. And what's really happened is it's led to the rise of what's called high frequency trading. August 24th, when the market went haywire, high-frequency traders were greater than 50% of the volume. They are every single day. I mean, back in 2012, in the fall of 2012, we had seriously volatile times, and one of the big clearing firms, the head of a clearing firm, said 75% of all of our volume today was high-frequency trading. So when the majority of volume in the markets is traded by people who do not care about fundamentals, what does that fundamentally mean for the stock market? It's a pretty scary thought.